The Valari had nowhere left to go. Their homeworld of Velros Prime had burned 3 cycles ago, consumed by the relentless advance of the Corinthian swarm. 18 billion souls reduced to 6 million refugees, crammed into deteriorating colony ships that leaked radiation and hope in equal measure. The Valari Council had sent desperate pleas across every known communication channel, begging the galactic community for sanctuary. The responses had been uniform: regret, sympathy, and closed borders. The Theronians cited economic constraints. The Zephyri Empire referenced security concerns. Even the supposedly benevolent architects of Paz offered only thoughts and prayers, claiming their worlds were at capacity. The message was clear: the galaxy had no room for the broken and desperate. Then Earth responded. Ambassador Chen's message was brief, almost brutally simple. Send us your coordinates. We're coming to get you. The Valari Council had debated for hours. Humanity was young, barely 2 centuries into interstellar travel. They were known across the galaxy as the species that asked too many questions, took too many risks, and formed emotional attachments to virtually everything. They had been denied council membership 3 times for being diplomatically immature. But they were the only ones who had answered. Commander Telesh would never forget the moment the human fleet emerged from hyperspace. 12 massive vessels, each bristling with weapon arrays that made the Valari's defense ships look like children's toys. The lead ship, the UNSC Indomitable, dwarfed their largest colony vessel. Valari fleet, this is Captain Sarah Okonkwo of the United Nations Space Command. We're here to escort you home. Well, to a home. You're under Earth's protection now. The captain's voice carried a warmth that Telesh hadn't heard in months. Not pity, something else. Determination, perhaps, or defiance. The journey to Earth's territory took 6 weeks. During that time, human crews shuttled between ships delivering food, medicine, and repair supplies. They asked for nothing in return. Human engineers worked 20-hour shifts patching hull breaches and replacing failing life support systems. Human doctors treated Valari patients with a gentleness that brought Telesh to tears more than once. Why are you doing this? Telesh had asked Lieutenant Marcus Webb, a young human engineer who had just spent 14 hours repairing their ship's water reclamation system. Webb had looked genuinely confused by the question. Because you need help, he'd said, as if that explained everything. And because it's the right thing to do. The planet they called New Velros orbited a yellow star in what humans designated the Ross 128 system. It was a terraformed world, one of humanity's newer colonies still largely undeveloped. Telesh had expected a refugee camp, perhaps some temporary shelters. What awaited them defied imagination. An entire city had been constructed in 3 months. Not prefabricated emergency housing, but real buildings, hospitals, schools, residential towers, parks. The architecture incorporated Valari design principles, with the curved archways and crystal gardens their people loved. Human construction crews were still working as the colony ships descended, rushing to complete a massive cultural center in the city's heart. We studied your databases, explained Ambassador Chen, who had traveled to personally welcome them. We wanted you to feel at home. This isn't charity, Counselor Telesh. This is what neighbors do. 6 million Valari disembarked, walking on solid ground for the first time in months. Children ran through streets lined with blue-leafed trees imported from Earth, chosen because they resembled the silverbark forests of lost Velros. Adults wept openly at the sight of the city's central monument, a holographic memorial displaying the names of every Valari lost to the swarm. But humanity's gift didn't end with shelter. 3 days after the settlement, the Corinthian swarm arrived. Their scout ships emerged at the system's edge, drawn by the massive energy signatures of the Valari colony ships. The swarm didn't negotiate, didn't communicate. They simply consumed. They had followed the refugees across half the galaxy, and now they had found them. Telesh was in the command center when the alarm sounded. Terror gripped her hearts as she watched the holographic display fill with hostile signatures. Thousands of swarm ships, each one a nightmare of chitin and bioweaponry. Then the human fleet moved. 47 warships materialized from positions throughout the system. They had been waiting, hidden, anticipating this exact scenario. The UNSC Indomitable positioned itself directly between the approaching swarm and New Velros. All swarm vessels, this is Captain Okonkwo. You are entering United Nations protected space. The beings on that planet are under Earth's protection. Turn back now or be destroyed. The swarm, of course, didn't turn back. What followed was the most brutal space battle in recorded history. Human ships fought with a ferocity that shocked the watching Valari. They didn't just defend, they attacked with coordinated precision that spoke of extensive combat experience. Railguns tore through swarm bioships. Nuclear-tipped missiles vaporized entire formations. When 3 swarm vessels broke through the line and dove toward the planet, human ships rammed them, their crews sacrificing themselves without hesitation. The battle lasted 7 hours. When it ended, the swarm was broken. 16 human ships had been destroyed, their crews lost, but not a single swarm vessel had reached New Velros. In the aftermath, Talesh found Captain Okonkwo in the Indomitable's observation deck, staring at the debris field that had once been living ships and brave crews. "We lost 3,000 people today," Okonkwo said quietly. 3,000 humans died protecting people they'd only known for 6 weeks. "Why?" Talesh whispered. "The galaxy abandoned us. We're nothing to you. Why would you sacrifice so much?" Okonkwo turned to face her, and Talesh saw tears in the captain's eyes. "Because someone once said that the measure of humanity isn't how we treat the powerful, but how we treat the powerless. You came to us broken, desperate, with nothing to offer, and that's exactly when you needed us most." The captain paused, looking back at New Velros glowing peacefully below. "Besides, you're not nothing to us. You're our neighbors now, and we protect our neighbors." 10 years later, New Velros thrived. The Valari had built new lives, integrated with human culture while maintaining their own identity. Valari engineers worked alongside humans, developing technologies that neither species could have created alone. Children of both species played together in streets lined with trees from 2 worlds. And in orbit, a joint Valari human defense fleet stood watch. The galaxy had closed its doors, but Earth had opened its arms, built a home, and then stood guard with warships. That the Valari learned was what it meant to be human. Not perfection, not endless resources, not ancient wisdom, just an irrational, beautiful, dangerous commitment to do what was right, whatever the cost. The galaxy had left them to die. Humanity had given them a reason to live. And the Valari would never forget.